In this video, I will be talking about poverty and how it relates to child abuse within the child welfare system. When looking at all the reported types of child abuse, the most common form of child maltreatment is neglect. Neglect is defined as the failure to provide for a child's basic needs, such as food, clothing, shelter, medical care, education, or proper supervision. Poverty is a risk factor for neglect, but poverty does not equate to neglect. The presence of poverty alone does not mean a child is unsafe, unloved, or that a parent lacks the capacity to care for their child. Poverty can make it more challenging for parents to meet their children's needs. A child should never be removed from their family due to poverty alone. A starting point to prevent child neglect would be to address issues associated with poverty. Prevention efforts must involve partnerships across various sectors, such as education, healthcare services, and housing. Adequate resources must be provided to satisfy a family's basic needs. Some examples of actions that would help address poverty issues are strengthening economic supports by providing access to economic and financial help, creating and sustaining safe, stable housing, ensuring every family has access to medical care and mental health services, establishing strong and stable social support networks, implementing family-friendly work policies, and providing quality daycare and education early in life.
The foster care system can be very beneficial in removing children from harmful, abusive situations. However, the foster care system should be a last resort for children whose parents are unable to properly care for them. Entering the foster care system and separating from their parents is extremely harmful and traumatic for children. We will now look at Dasani and her siblings' experiences in The Invisible Child and examine how their life experiences in foster care could have been prevented. Upon separation, Dasani's behavioral issues lead to her being kicked out of boarding school, and her brother Papa is hospitalized due to the emotional toll of feeling like he is to blame for the division of his family. Her eldest brother Khalid's behavioral issues lead to his incarceration in juvenile hall, a common pipeline for foster kids. Through one family alone, we can see how detrimental separating families can be. Once a child is removed from home and placed in the foster care system, only a court can determine when a child can return to their parents. This process is tedious and costly, and the harm of separation lives on for families. In 2016, only 49% of foster children were reunited with their parents. We must prevent children from entering the foster care system altogether. Often, a child's fate is left in the hands of a court-appointed special advocate who assesses the family situation and determines what is in the best interest of the child. In order for these social workers to deem that children are better off with their families, they must see no signs of neglect or abuse. In the case of Dasani's family, the children were removed from their home for neglect, the most common reason kids enter the foster care system. This could have been avoided entirely if Dasani's parents were able to receive their food stamps and increased housing benefits in a timely, efficient way. The state should offer increased benefits to the children's secondary caretaker when their primary caretaker, in the case of Dasani, this is her mother Chanel, enters and maintains rehabilitation treatment for drug abuse as an incentive for parents to stay clean so they can stay with their children. Increasing resources for poor and homeless families is cheaper than foster care. With the money saved from less children in the foster care system, the funding can go towards providing mentors for families, which provide support for parents, whether that be making sure their children are picked up from school, fed, or tutored, and also by providing career support for parents struggling to enter the workforce.
This is Regina. I will introduce the example that I mentioned in our project. The Kentucky State provide assistance according to individual circumstances, which is called Safe Infants Act, that allow parents or someone acting on their behalf to leave their babies younger than 3 days old at a safe place. No one will call the police and no one will ask for the parent's name. The second part of the picture explains the main content of the program and the service that the program can be provided. This is a good sign that helps or saves children avoid unnecessary harm from child abuse or neglect.
The Safe Infants Act. The Safe Infants Act is important for parents or guardians who are unable to care for their children or do not want the responsibility. Some treatment services include adoption assistance and foster care. This way, pregnant women can keep their children out of dangerous situations if they know it is better not to keep their baby. The Safe Infants Act allows parents and guardians to leave their children under 30 days old somewhere that will be safe for them. The parents or caretakers will not be asked for their names, and they cannot and will not get in any trouble for doing this. This prevents children from being harmed and avoiding unnecessary pain from possible neglect or child abuse. Also, if a parent decides to keep their baby, there is counseling and child assistance that is available for them. So that's about the Safe Infants Act. Thank you.